Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
The intern Ned Reynolds in the studio Friday morning. So yesterday the Sugar Bowl finally was able to be held in New Orleans. And I have a feeling a few people won some money on that. What do you think?
I'm quite sure they did. Georgia was a very slight favorite in the game, and gosh, this was a very interesting contest. There's no question that Georgia missed their starting quarterback. His name's Carson Beck, and he was knocked out in the Southeastern Conference Championship game against Texas, knocked out with an arm, shoulder, and elbow injury all on one play, and there's no way he was out. He was out for the season. The substitute, and when you're a substitute, Mike, at Georgia, that's big-time football. Their substitute was pretty good, a kid named Gunnar Stockton, and he passed very well, had 234 yards through the air, didn't play badly at all, but there wasn't a spark in that team. Here's the big play, or plays of the game, in my opinion. All decided late in the second period, right before halftime. Score 6-3, Notre Dame leads. Georgia has the ball deep in their own territory, fourth down and about 2 yards to go, and they decide to go for it. Why? You just have a minute or two remaining in the half. Go for it. Kick it and get well in the second half. They didn't. They went for it. A strip sack made the kid, the quarterback, fumble the ball. He would have given it up anyway because it was fourth down. Notre Dame turned that into a touchdown and had a 13-3 lead at halftime. And then the opening kickoff of the second half, Notre Dame gets it, kid runs 100 yards. Touchdown 20-3. Georgia was shell-shocked, and they did not come back. Give credit to Notre Dame. Their defense was excellent, in my opinion. Maybe not the better athletes. Georgia's a very athletic football team and very, very good. But they were missing that spark that a starting quarterback, who's been with them all year long, that spark that they look for to guide them down the stretch. And some of the passes from Stockton, Gunnar Stockton, the quarterback, were behind the receivers or over their heads. It just wasn't there. And then Notre Dame's clock management was excellent, and the Irish win 23-10, and that completes the puzzle, at least for now.
And if you're watching, man, Notre Dame coaching is still a big part of that win yesterday, too.
That's Marcus Freeman, who has a very, very good staff behind him.
Yes, they do, and that's, again, when you prepare, like with the Kansas City Chiefs, it pays off in situations like that. Obviously, with what you said at the beginning, though, with Georgia missing out their stud behind their center, that's a big deal. All right, so now we know who the Final Four are going to be and when that's going down.
And that'll be the latter part of next week. Now, they play Thursday and Friday. Thursday and Friday. You say, wait a minute, Thursday and Friday for national championship semifinals? Why not in the weekend? They're smart. They know what's on the weekend, and that's the NFL playoffs and the wild card, and everybody's playing, and so it's a Thursday and Friday matchup. The Thursday game is in the Orange Bowl in Miami. It'll be played outside, and that's Penn State versus Notre Dame. Should be an excellent game. The Cotton Bowl game will be Friday night at Jerry's World down in Dallas, AT&T Stadium, and here's the intriguing game. This is two of the best teams in the country, Ohio State and Texas. Texas playing right in their backyard. This is a home game for them. Dallas and Austin are maybe a couple hours apart, but the fact is the Texas fans will be there, and they'll have 95,000 in there for what should be a great game. Anyway, they're the Final Four, and then the two will play, the two survivors, play for the national championship Monday, January 20th in Atlanta in that magnificent Superdome they have down there. They call it the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. It is beautiful, great setting. And I must admit to you, I do like the playoffs. I like the playoff system, the way they have it now, the 12 teams, but there are changes that need to be made. One is do away with the conference championship games. They don't mean anything at all. And the top four seeds in this year's tournament, all lost. All the teams that had bye weeks at the very start, this is a good little chance to rest up, and they all lost. Come on, what is this?
Well, it's a game of attrition. That's what it is, and that's in all those situations. It wasn't the bye. It was these kids are getting hurt. But, again, and that plays into your argument about the conference championship. That plays into it. But at the same time, I agree with what you're saying as far as the playoff. It feels like we're making a step in the right direction. It feels good. You definitely need changes. But I still am leaning on I like conference championships because that could decide who goes to those playoffs in the end.
It could, but in my formula, do away with all that. Do away with the rankings. You seed the teams from 1 through 12, and that's subjective. That'd be a committee, but they get it right. The top 1 through 12 would be the top-seeded teams, no matter who you are, no matter what conference you come from. Throw that out, get rid of that, and let's play the 12 top teams.
If they did it that way, then yes. If there was no
that's
conference,
how they'd have to do it.
Yeah, that's the only way they'd have to do it. But I don't know. I am also very afraid with committees getting it right, to be honest with you. Now, I make a big deal about the college football playoffs. What about the FCS?
The FCS has its championship game on Monday night, January 6th, at Toyota Stadium, which is down in Frisco, Texas. Certainly nowhere near as big as the big venues. It's a very good stadium. It seats about 30,000. And in this game, the 9-time national champion North Dakota State Bison. They're back in it this year, going for a 10th national title in FCS. They won a bunch of them when they were a D2 team, and now they are going for their 10th as a FCS team, playing Montana State. Montana State is ranked one position above North Dakota State. Montana State's number one team in the country. North Dakota State has all the glitter and glamour that goes with a consistent championship team, and they are from the Missouri Valley Conference. Go Bison, see what happens.
So it's pretty crazy to think that we're already talking about the first pro golf tournament of the year, but we are, and who are the leaders right now?
It has started, and this is the Hawaiian Tour. And the Century Classic, which is what this one's called, the Old Tournament of Champions, is being played at Kapalua on the island of Maui. They changed the format, they being the PGA this year, to where it is the 60 best golfers on the PGA Tour. Yes, most of the time the champions are included, including Scottie Scheffler, who is not there. During the Christmas holidays, Scheffler apparently was doing some cooking in his kitchen, has a wife and 2 kids, and he somehow broke a glass of some sort in his hand and had to have surgery to remove all the glass fragments. So he's out of action until the middle of January. Still, the leader is Tom Hoge, who's a very fine player. At 9 under par, Will Zalatoris, who is one back. Xander Schauffele trails by 8. And Rory McIlroy has chosen to play in a tournament or a get-together over in Europe, so he is not included in this one. But it is the year's first golf tournament, the Century Classic. Next week it would be. They move to Honolulu for the next competition.
Must be nice for those guys, but not for Scotty. It's crazy when that got announced. I was just like, that is the funniest. Not funniest. It's unfortunate for him, but you know, with his reputation, you'd have thought he would have got that broken hand or broken glass in a bar fight somewhere, not cooking for his family.
No, he's not that way.
So how'd the Lady Bears do last night?
Lady Bears won a physical battle over Belmont, which is a very, very good Missouri Valley Conference team. They both are. Lady Bears won at 57-55 at the Great Southern Bank Arena. You look at all the stats in this one, it's an even match. Both teams shot 36% from the field on the foul line. The Lady Bears they can play better than what they did. They shot, right around 51, 52%. Belmont was a little bit better, but Belmont had problems on the perimeter shooting. So, indeed, Belmont comes up short. And the final is 57-55. Lady Bears play at home again tomorrow afternoon. So, lots of action going on.
And then last but not least, the Kansas City Chiefs close out their regular season in Denver at Mile High Stadium. The game was announced a couple weeks ago, 3:25 start. That means Ned Talk starts at 1.
It does indeed, and what we will be discussing is Andy Reid holding out all his regulars. Folks, look, listen to the old man. Denver is a 10.5 point favorite. Don't you believe it? Even without Patrick Mahomes in there and some of the other regulars, this is still a pretty good, formidable football team. I'm not going to say they're going to win, but they won't get smoked like the odds makers out in Las Vegas think they will. No, I think the Chiefs will play very well. Regardless of all that, Ned Talk at 1 to 2, and then the Chiefs pregame show, and then the Chiefs themselves from Empower. What is it now? Empower at Mile High Stadium
it's
or something.
Mile High.
Right? It's always
Don't
Mile
even
High.
worry about the sponsor. So with a 10.5 point for the Broncos, this might be a chance for you to win some of those chocolate chips you've lost all season long, man.
It just did. I don't have it.
I know. Well, maybe just one left to gain some more. Either way, Ned, go Chiefs and have a good weekend.